what do you think about Callie's tweet and the idea that, yes, Virginia, there's already bad stuff on your node, not to mention all the transactions?
Well, I thought the tweet was a bit dismissive, really, and it only really kind of paints a surface parodied view of what's actually going on. I've actually looked into it a bit more since I was last on, and it would appear to be the issue appears to be that when images like this are broken up into small chunks, there's plausible deniability for Bitcoiners running their own nodes. However, if you get to a stage where you can embed a whole image, that becomes a whole different ballgame. I don't think any of these images, even split into small sections, are a good idea. All things in the universe carry a spiritual energy, and even if you break it down into small pieces on a blockchain, you're inculcating something into the very nature of what it is that we're trying to develop that is antithetical to it. I mean, if we're trying to achieve the moral high ground by having a better form of money, to contaminate it with that kind of data, whether it's split into small pieces or it's actual large images, this feels, you know, were always going to go after Bitcoin's weaknesses. We've seen this over and over again. Initially, they tried to find who Satoshi was because he kept himself anonymous. He wasn't able to. Then they've had, hard forks in the past where, it was against the miners and the general public. And, generally speaking, Bitcoin has been very robust. But all of these cryptocurrencies rely on their narrative. And part of the strength of Bitcoin's narrative is the fact that it's money for the people. But if you've got something that's embedding images and data that's fundamentally against the nature of humanity, you're creating you're creating a problem there. Um, so yeah, I think it's a problem. And of course, at the moment, it's all very esoteric. People are kind of talking about it as only the software developers. If you're an average Bitcoin, you probably don't really understand, what's going on here. And so the tendency is to kind of think, well, these things have happened before, it's no big deal. But all you need is for, some tabloid to get hold of the fact that these are the images that can be found on Bitcoin and extract them more easily than they've done in the past. And you have that slapped all over the papers. It's the reputation of Bitcoin will just be completely tanked. And it's Bitcoin's reputation that's keeping the money afloat.